Topic: electromobility e-vehicles. At my side, Andreas, our top product manager for automotive technology. You have already seen the three systems in the background several times. We don't want to go into great detail today, but today we want to specialize in the topic of diagnosis. We know all systems are suitable for the different qualifications, no matter if it's the DGUV in Germany, the AMI qualification, or even ASE LS3 in the USA. With every system, an e-learning course is included, and we have all measuring instruments on board. But now we should focus on the question, what diagnostic options do we have for the three individual systems? For that, I have my expert here by my side, and we start with it. Our high-voltage battery training system is already being used in many areas by many vehicle manufacturers. We have, of course, managed to develop a training system here, or rather the automotive team, which has a real lithium-ion high-voltage battery, but in an absolutely safe learning environment. That means the trainee can go straight into the high-voltage battery here and experiment freely. Or diagnose, because we not only have measurement capabilities in this real battery, but we can actually introduce real faults into the high-voltage battery. It starts off quite relaxed, for example, with bus errors or temperature errors. This means that the temperature sensor is defective and needs to be replaced. This can also refer to errors outside the system or in the area of the unlocking components. But the cell errors are really exciting. Andreas.
Exactly. Here we have installed 16 cells with real lithium-ion batteries, and various faults can be activated in each cell. That means the errors are inside the cells, they are switched and remain even when the cell is removed.
That means cell error would now mean here that the individual cell is basically defective. We would see, for example, that the range is reduced.
Exactly. For example, the range of the vehicle is reduced, which he could criticize. Earlier, I could drive 400 kilometers, and now suddenly 200. Can we then see when the cell is loaded? Up here you can see that quite well.
That means we also have a complete diagnostic system included in this e-learning course. We don't need anything extra here, but we really have full access to the high-voltage battery with the integrated diagnostic device.
Exactly. The diagnostic device is integrated in the e-learning course, as you already said.
And everything is measured in real time.
Exactly, and all values are displayed in real time. And if we now had a cell error, for example, if a cell had an increased internal resistance, we would see here that one of the cells drops in voltage.
Under load then.
Under load, exactly. And in order to be able to repair it afterwards and then make the jump back into the repair, we can remove the cells in this system.
Okay, so that means we first activate the entire system using a tester.
Exactly, we are activating the system, then we have our gloves.
And then they can completely dismantle the high-voltage battery.
Exactly, open the high-voltage battery, disassemble the high-voltage battery, and remove the affected cell. And can then replace the cell with cell number 17, with the 17th cell, which we currently have here on our balancer, with which the cell is prepared for installation so that the correct voltage level is brought, and then we can use it as a new cell, which was delivered by the manufacturer, which was delivered by the accessories, and install it in the vehicle to make the vehicle ready for use again.
And for that, you have basically developed the cell balancer specifically, which fits perfectly with this device. Is of course much more cost-effective than the commercially available cell testers. Balancer. What I know is that they are relatively expensive. And here you have really created your own solution with which the cell can be tested on one side. But we can condition it here so that it will be accepted by the BMS. Then we take a test drive, clear the error memory, and the customer is happy again.
Exactly, and didn't need to buy a whole battery.
So here we see that the error diagnosis in this area is really focused on practicality. And I think that will eventually become a task for a high-voltage technician, which they will perform almost every day. Because the more vehicles we have on the road, the more cells will inevitably fail at some point.
Yes, of course, just like motor components are replaced nowadays, in the future they will be battery cells.
Wonderful, thank you very much, Andreas.